Robert Knowles here, and welcome to History with R&R Live. As you can tell, I'm a little alone up here tonight. That will change in a couple of minutes. However, it has been asked of me to do something that I wish I never had to do. As a matter of fact, all day I've been kind of hoping that I would find out that this was all a bad dream and that I could cancel this stream and move on to karaoke. Unfortunately, it is with a heavy heart that I have to tell all of you. Last night, Richard Simpson, or as we all knew him, Admiral Franklin Doom, passed away of a sudden heart attack. So, with that said, I'm going to bring up a few people and we're going to tell some funny stories because I need to laugh. Yeah. So welcoming to the panel, the person who Doom himself blamed or credited for making him go live, Mr. CCDV.
Depending on how his mood was that day, yeah.
Our co-chair for the radio shows, Professor Brainy Specs, also Jeff Franklin.
Good evening, everyone.
A person that he was amazed would do our end credits and be in our shows, Stone Loki.
Hello, everybody.
And another person that he was even more shocked would join us and didn't know why because he blew us all away like Purple did, Chris Knight.
How you
Hey,
doing?
Chris.
How's it going?
Hello, everyone.
So I'm going to start things off with a little bit of a thing. Doom would let everybody know, kind of, if you watch short attention span theater, that he had a little bit of the OCD. So much so that if you were at his computer right now, there are probably printed sheets all the way up to April with his shows color-coded on a calendar.
I'm sorry.
What day
So-
and time those shows are going to drop?
They're going to drop because he's got them scheduled all the way out till probably the end of April, maybe longer, because he'd be 4 months ahead so that we could focus on History with R&R. He'd take his Saturdays 9 times out of 10 and he'd be uploading videos after video after video after video to make sure that he was at least 2 months ahead of schedule for his regular channel.
I thought being a week ahead was doing good.
Well, for most of it,
That is,
it
for most
actually
of us, it's doing good.
I was feeling behind because I haven't been able to do that lately. I've been like doing it the night or two before. I'm like, oh crap, I got to get this up and got to.
And not only are they
wait.
uploaded,
That's late to you? That's like early to me. If I can get a stream up the night before, holy shit, I'm doing good.
yeah, no kidding. You get the audio in the day before. It's you're doing good.
He was definitely the YouTube chess master.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yes, and like I said, beside his computer right now, there are calendars with each show with a different color. Each one of his radio shows have a different color, and they're all color coded, and they're all on this printout. It can be just in Word. He had to print it out, so he had a physical copy of it
I
to have up by the
sympathize with
computer. And yeah, so expect probably a lot more videos from him because he's probably caught him till the end of April, knowing Doom.
Well, you know, those radio programs were his love. He loved us
Yes.
growing up, and we're going to enjoy them over the next several months. That's his gift to us. So thank you, Admiral.
And Bird of Prey 5, I don't know exactly. I know that this morning when I got up, I got to my computer and I checked my emails as I usually do. And there was an email from him, and I thought it was for, the Friday script we were supposed to do 2 weeks ago. Because we both haven't been feeling well the last couple of weeks. And so I thought it was a script or something. And it was a reply to where I had sent him, because I emailed him the radio shows. Every time I finished them, I'd email them to him so he could archive them. And so it was a reply to that email. And it simply stated that it was his wife and that Richard had passed away yesterday. And asked me if I would inform all of his YouTube friends, as she put it in the email. After I was done completely staring at my screen for 15 minutes, and then kind of a spaz attack, Loki's like, well, maybe it's maybe it's
Me being
got hacked or something.
me being the cynical bastard that I am, I said you double check this and you make sure this isn't someone fucking with you.
Yeah.
Right.
So I went on Facebook after that, and I directly messaged her, and she confirmed it. And she told me that she will have once she's done making the arrangements, she will let me know of them so that I can let anybody else know where funeral and etc. will be, when it'll be. But other than that, I asked her what happened, and all she said was that they're not sure yet, but they're suspecting heart attack.
You say the cynical thing and stuff. That brings me back to when my father died. My son had been suspended from school. And he was staying with my mom and my dad because I had to go to work and he had to stay someplace and whatnot. And I get this phone call. I can't remember. I was heading to the store. I get this phone call and my son is on the other line. It's the phone. The phone's my dad's phone number. And all I heard from my son was, Dad, Grandpa's cold and I can't hear his heartbeat. And my first thought was, as my dad was playing his usual cruel joke on me, and I just said, okay, give the phone to your dad or to your grandpa. And he says, he says, Dad, he's cold and I can't hear his heartbeat. And that's like it was like when you read that, that's how the second time he said it, I just stopped and I was like, holy shit. I don't think I had driven over 100 miles an hour in a while. And my Ford Edge definitely hit 120. I'm not here for very long. I'm still fighting a headache. I wanted to come in though, and I don't know. I can't really exactly remember how it came about that I started doing these things with you guys. I guess if I went back through my messages, I could figure it out. I know I've been on a couple times with you guys on short attention span. Yeah, and from the brief amount of time that I've spent on streams or talking to Doom, I sat there, welcoming guy. He obviously had his crap together because occasionally he got on little outside tangents about equipment and stuff, and I loved how he had his different cameras and stuff. Obviously, yes, very OCD, but that's okay because I got that too, and I understand that. And it's like, ooh, I like that idea. It's like I'm watching him do things. I'm like, ooh, yeah, just my mind's blowing up with the ideas. But in the short amount of time that I've been doing stuff with you guys, I saw a guy who was passionate. We had talked about the old radio style programs and things like that, and history and things, all this other stuff. And yeah, I think that's something that's lost in the world these days. You don't have people who are that passionate about things that some people would consider bygone, things that had passed. And
Yeah. Try getting 90% of your friends to watch a black and white movie.
it's true.
And I mean, like, but like, and for a guy who, every person who ever voiced a part, whether it was one line, one word, anything in the radio shows, it was a shock to him that anybody would
he's
even.
the one that wrote these, right?
He would write them, yes. So now I'm screwed, because I can't write for the site.
I am sure somebody out there would help.
Maybe I won't get killed off as often.
But my thought process here is when I would read these, I loved the way that it was presented. I mean, and this may be a weird way of putting it, but when I was in like elementary school and stuff, this is how history was presented to younger kids. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I love the approach. It's like, what would happen if you would go back
Yes.
with a news team in a place that never would have had it?
Yeah.
What would have been
And
said?
actually,
What would you have known that you didn't know before?
Yeah,
You
and
only know because
his love for stuff that that has passed is the reason we do the radio show, because CBS, back when they actually put out quality broadcasting, did the exact same thing.
I'm trying to remember when that was.
They had the exact show we do now, and now they don't.
To add to what Chris was saying, I knew both of you before you decided to do this. And I want to say this. Canuck, man. Canuck was like, it was almost like he was lost. He was like, Loki, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. I don't know what my future in YouTube is. And on the other end, you got Doom going, Loki, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. I don't really know what the point of all this is. I hate the drama. I don't like this. And then Canuck comes to me and says, Loki, you do that history show with the Dega at night. Me and Canuck, or me and Admiral Doom are talking about doing this show. And it wasn't a week after that I had Canuck telling me, Loki, I'm having so much fun. I'm having more fun doing this than I've ever had before. And I've got Doom on the other side of that going, Loki, I'm having so much damn fun doing this.
Yeah.
Canuck, it's like everything's finally falling into place. And I knew, man, I was like, this is what this is all about. Is I keep telling people, if you're not having fun, something's wrong. And now these two men are having fun doing what they're doing. And this is what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because we were sitting there and I brought it up to him because I'd wanted to do a history channel, but I wanted to do it with somebody. I wanted to co-chair. And I knew that he did the blog, that he did a history blog. So I was like, okay, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll get Doom to do it with me. And so we came up with it. And right from the start, we're like, you know what? Rambling Canuck and the other and Admiral Franklin Doom channel is about to become secondary. Like before we even had a single subscriber, History with R&R was the premier channel going forward. The second I made it a channel, this was going to be the primary. And it's just weird to me right now, because I always thought that he'd have to be in this position, because I'm the one with the kidney condition. So he's supposed to be here, and I'm not. So this is just kind of a slap in the face. But
are you telling me that you're mad at him that you're now in this position? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Get back down here right now. Talk to me.
Yeah,
we're gonna have words when I get on purpose. Or down there. He knew this was my vacation weekend.
And then you know what? Right now, he'd be the first one sitting here going, gentlemen, remember Doom's Rule 169.
Yeah.
Expect the unexpected, and if you don't, you're a moron. It would be some shit like that.
Yeah.
All right,
I always get the last word. Just an observation.
I am going to jump off, but I do want to say one thing. I don't know how it'll work out, and I've already told you I will do whatever I can to help you out. But I would always, and I've said this to lots of people, if this is something that you and him really wanted to make work, and you guys, this was your passion, this is your, if this was the premier channel, then don't stop it. It is something that you can do for him. Now, yes, I understand the daunting task if he wrote everything and all that, but there are lots of us that will help, and there's lots of us that will do whatever we can.
Yeah.
And
I will keep the radio shows alive as long as I possibly can.
And that's all I would say, is because if nothing else, that is the one thing you can do. And I said this at my father's funeral. I've said this at friends of mine's funerals. You are never forgotten until the last person who talks about you and remembers you is dead. And as long as you continue to pass that along to another person, who can pass it on to another person, who can pass it on to another, people can live forever. And so that's what I would tell you, is that it's never too late to remember him. And the best way to do that is continue doing things that he loved to do. And if he loved doing those with you and with Loki, myself, Purple Valkyrie, Mr. CCDV, Jeff there, if all of us, if he loved doing that and this was a passion of his, then we are all, in some way, shape, or form, we should all look to help continue that passion in whatever ways we can. And I would, again, like I said, I would say that to anybody that I knew that was put in a position like this. And I don't know if his wife ever watched. I don't know if his wife is watching now. I would say that I am truly sorry for your loss. It no matter who has been through it, it brings back that memory of my father's death that was so sudden. My father, throughout most of my life, I was told was going to die like 3 or 4 different times, and he never did. And then when it finally did happen, I wasn't ready for it. Unexpected death sucks. And so to her and to anybody who knew him, my deepest regret goes out to you, because it sucks. It just absolutely sucks. Yeah, B, you missed something. Yeah. But with that said, I am going to go turn off the lights and try to lose a headache. But rambling, Robert, just keep your head up and know that you've got a lot of people around you that's willing to help carry on this task that you guys were doing and this show that you were doing. I said it before. I said I enjoy doing these, because I honestly do. This is some of the best fun. I find it a challenge. I enjoy doing them, and I will do them as long as you want me to do them. And I will, like I said, I will help you in any way I can to help you continue this on. For him, for you, and for anybody else that enjoyed this stuff. So, guys,
and just for those who are just kind of getting in, I kind of dropped it at the beginning, but I'll say it again. This morning, I was informed by Richard Simpson, my co-host of History with R&R, the second R in History with R&R, passed away last night due to a sudden heart attack. And so now his wife had asked me to make the announcement to YouTube, and I thought, instead of messaging everybody individually, I would just come live, and it would make more sense to come up on History with R&R than it did Rambling Canuck. So that's why it's here. And because he had an absolute touch on everything done on this channel.
You know, both of you glorious bastards made YouTube a better place. I'm not shitting you. I know I say that, but you are two glorious bastards. He was one hell of a guy, and you're one hell of a guy, Canuck.
Absolutely.
And people like you make me stay here. I'm not shitting you. As much drama as there can be, and a lot of people don't know just how much drama goes on behind the scenes at fucking YouTube. Let me tell you guys something. Making videos, doing streams, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
The shit that goes on behind the scenes, that's something else. But because of people like Doom, people like Robert, people like Mr. CCDB, people like Jeff. Man, me and Jeff got into it one night, and he went on a show the very next morning, and I wasn't even on there, and he was apologizing. And Canuck's like, dude, Jeff's on blah, blah, blah. I think Jeff's on the soup, and he's apologizing. And I jumped right on. I was like, brother, you don't need to apologize to me. I had been drinking. We got in an argument. Everything's cool. It's not that real. And that's how real people handle their shit.
And besides,
Absolutely.
Jeff, you don't have to worry about it, because the one argument that apparently has become like legendary is me and Loki over Picard. The odds will never go away, apparently.
Somewhere out there is a guy, and all he does every time that gets brought up, every time that fight gets brought up, somebody's like, "Oh, do you remember the fight between Rambling Canuck and Loki?" You hear dun 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 dun.
But the best part about that is 3 days later, I was on Loki's channel and we were laughing and joking about it. And we still do to this day. Right? So, but, with that, folks, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank everyone who came in the chat. I want to thank, on behalf of Doom, anybody who ever enjoyed a script he wrote. I will be having the next radio show come out. I'm not exactly sure how I'm pulling it off just yet, but it will come out. And the radio show will drop every second Tuesday, as it always has, come hell or high water. And if I have to learn how to type, then so be it. But I want to thank everyone who came up on the panel. I want to thank everybody who came in the chat. And most importantly, cherish those that are around. Because in a blink of an eye, they could be gone. Always remember that. And with that, folks, I'm going to end this with a sappy tribute to my buddy.